Hello and welcome, I'm EG, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some of the yarn that I bought recently, because I've bought more yarn in the past couple months than I've bought in a long time. And next month is going to be the 1-year anniversary of when I started to crochet. I'm a crocheter, I've never knit before, so crocheting is what I prefer to do. But I'm going to be showing off the yarn that I bought recently. The main haul is from Yarnspirations.com, which they were having that big sale. It was like the 40% off biggest sale in the Yarniverse, whatever. Of course I've used Red Heart, but I've never bought any from Yarnspirations directly, and so I wanted to buy like a big bunch of yarn, and I'm spending like $160 or whatever on yarn, as if I needed some. I already have a whole bunch, and I'm still in the process of organizing it. That's why I'm doing this video in my living room. But I have these two big boxes here. I was going to act like I haven't seen this before, and they're like, oh, this is an unboxing, and they're like, you know, but I've seen this yarn. So just be honest. So I'm going to be going through that, and then the whole idea of buying the yarn from Yarnspirations.com, not just because of the recent sale that they had, but it's because on YouTube everybody's been showing off their Joann hauls, and my local Joann is not even local. It's like 30 minutes away, and I've only been in there twice, and so I've never really used a lot of Joann yarn. I usually use like Walmart and Hobby Lobby, even though I hate their politics, but I love their yarn. And their yarn should be called "I Love This Yarn," comma, damn it. So I have a lot of "I Love This Yarn," damn it, brand in my stash. It'll catch on. And then I bought yarn at Dollar Tree, and God, I mess up my words all the time. And so Dollar Tree and local thrift stores and Goodwills and stuff. Although Goodwill is too expensive sometimes. And but I just don't like to buy yarn online. I have, of course, but I just don't like to buy it online because I like to feel it in my hands, and so I have very limited options. But I have bought yarn online, obviously, and I knew I bought a lot of Red Heart, and they just didn't have a whole lot in my local Walmart. So I thought I'll use this opportunity. They had it 40% off at Yarnspirations.com, and then they also had a 10% off coupon that you could bundle with it, so it was like 50% off. So I got a whole bunch of yarn, and like $300 worth of yarn, because it was $160 some for all this. And these two giant boxes practically broke my back trying to carry these into the house. And then so the whole idea was that everybody was doing these Joann hauls, and I thought I'm not too crazy about. I don't mean to, like, you know, crap on Joann. They're on their way out, and so I mean, I love the employees and stuff and all that, but the yarn I was never that crazy about, because I never been I never used it before. And then I did buy some yarn at Joann online last year, and it was like kind of hit and miss. Some of it is really nice. I'll show it off, what I have left. Some of it was actually good, and then some of it was just like really thin and splitty, and just I wasn't too impressed with Joann's yarn. And so you know, see what I'm saying? In that aspect, I was never really crazy about Joann, just because I'd never used it for, I'm not the first person to say that their yarn is like thin and splitty. I guess it had gone through some kind of change or whatever, because there are discussions online of people saying that they love their yarn, and then there was like a moment where it kind of changed, and it's, you know, it's starting to become kind of thin and splitty, and I have just stories about it. This video is going to be really long, so just, you know, sit back and crochet. You could probably crochet a whole blanket while you watch this video. But so I have the Yarnspirations, but then the other day I went to Joann, not expecting to find any yarn, because like I've only been in that local Joann 2 times, and so this is like my 3rd time going into Joann, and I just wanted to see if there was any yarn left at all. I was mainly looking for Red Heart. I would have loved to buy that big twist vortex. I actually saw that in person one of the times I went to Joann, but they didn't have any this time, of course. I think that was the one that sold out like that. But they had a shocking amount of yarn left, because I've seen videos on YouTube of people showing their Joanns, and it's just like decimated, like there's no yarn. They actually had more yarn than I ever thought that they would, and so I ended up buying yarn at Joann. So I bought a bunch of yarn from there too. So I'll be showing that off. Just like banging stuff. I'll show that yarn off, and then I do have a couple other random yarns that I've bought in the past few months, and I guess I'll show that off too if you care about that. But that wasn't like exactly recently, but it's within the past like 3 months, I guess. But I've just bought a whole lot of yarn, and I need to organize it, and I'll make videos in the future about that. Unless this video doesn't do well, because if I look familiar to you at all, not from the video, but like from a thumbnail or something, I used to be on YouTube. I put like 30 hours of videos out there, and they hardly got any kind of views or impressions, and so I just ended up unlisting them, and with the intention of posting videos on my website network in the future. Because I thought, at least then I would know that like what the problem is. It would be my fault instead of like some generic algorithm thing that only pushes my videos out to like 100 people. So there's like millions of people on YouTube, but then your video doesn't get any views. But then you look in the analytics and it's like, oh, it's been pushed out to 100 people, like 100 impressions. It's like, well, no wonder it doesn't get clicked on. But anyway, all that to say, blah blah blah. So this is I'm going to be talking about my yarn. So let me start with the Yarnspirations to get these big boxes out of here. So, and then there's more, not just this yarn that's in this room. I have yarn coming literally today. I just bought it yesterday. Amazon is like, that. I bought 8 skeins of big twists, not big twists, 8, you can't buy it online anymore. Unless you buy it on eBay at some ridiculous price. I noticed that the other day. Like I could make a profit off of this yarn that I bought at Joann, but I actually want to, for me, I actually want to use the yarn. And if I'm going to make a profit off of the stuff I make, I want to create something and make a profit off of what I make, not just like sell the yarn. Not that I'm like crapping on the people that are resellers and stuff. But anyway, like I was saying, there was a plane that flew over the house and it was just too loud. You'll notice that there's traffic going by in my videos too, because I live right by a big road, 5-lane highway. But anyway, so a plane flew over. Probably delivering more yarn than I just bought from Amazon. No, I think it's actually closer than that. But I have some yarn coming today. It's the Red Heart Super Saver polo stripe. I bought 8 big skeins, big double skeins of that, and I do have 8 big skeins. It's coming Thursday, I think. Or, you don't even know what day this is. But of the favorite stripe, it's my favorite yarn right now. The colors are just really pretty. I only have like this much left out of this skein, but it's the Red Heart Super Saver favorite stripe. I do have that coming, but that's coming from Amazon. I didn't buy any the other day when I bought this yarn from Yarnspirations.com. I regretted that, and then I just found out that they had this 2 big skeins for like $11.97 or something on Amazon, so I went ahead and bought a bunch of that. I'm gonna have to keep stopping because all this stuff keeps falling. Let me do the Yarnspirations order first. Did I even finish what I was saying? I bought this stuff at Yarnspirations thinking that everybody's gonna be showing off their Joann hauls, and so I thought I'm probably not gonna get to go to Joann, and even if I do, they're not gonna have any yarn. And so then I was shocked that they actually had yarn, and I ended up buying yarn anyway. So this is kind of like a Joann haul, but it was mainly supposed to be like a Yarnspirations thing because most of the videos were Joann hauls, and so I thought I do want to get some Yarnspiration Red Heart yarn and all that. Most of the yarn is Red Heart. There's one skein of Karen in here because I've never bought Karen yarn before, so I thought it was like a pretty colorway, so I went ahead and bought one of those. But anyway, see, already the first thing I open up, I feel like I have to pause the video again. I bought 4 skeins of macaw. It's a really pretty colorway. I made a throw blanket, or it was just supposed to come out. The word's supposed to come out of my mouth properly, but they don't. It was supposed to just be like a throw blanket, and then my niece, who I watch all the time, said, "What are you gonna do with that blanket?" And so I knew she wanted the blanket, so it ended up becoming her blanket, and which I'll show off. Hang on, let me pause it. I'm gonna do a video next month when it's the 1-year anniversary of my crochet stuff, showing off everything that I've crocheted, which will either be here on YouTube or it'll be on my website network. It'll depend on whether this gets any traction at all. So if you want this to stay on YouTube, just like and subscribe and comment down below, even just to say, "Oh, you're ugly." I don't care, just comment anything down below. Anyway, so this is the blanket that I made my niece, and it's just kind of like a really long throw blanket, because it was just supposed to be like a throw blanket, but then when she wanted it to be her blanket, I made it longer than it should have been. But this is the polo stripe, the yarn that's coming today from Amazon, and it's really pretty. The stitch I used for this was it's a modified moss stitch, one that I feel like I came up with, but I just kind of modified the moss stitch and made it, it's called the dash moss, what I call it. It's just an extended version of the moss stitch. So I made her this, and then I thought maybe I still had some of that polo stripe left, so I wanted to make her a pillowcase to go with it. So I made her a pillowcase, and then it ended up not being long enough because it's on a big pillow. And so I made the pillowcase, but because it wasn't long enough for this big body pillow thing that she uses, I added some on the edge. I didn't have any more of the polo stripe, so I used some of this macaw, and it turned out really nice. And so because I did this, and because I know she's growing like a weed, like she's already in the same shoe size as her mother, and she's like 10. But because I did this to her pillow, I thought that blanket's probably gonna feel a little too skinny, you know, not very long from now. And so I thought, if I'm going to add anything to the size of that blanket, because it's long enough, it's just, you know, the width is not, she can, you know, cuddle up underneath it or whatever, but it's not wide enough to sort of match the length. I thought I can add some macaw to the edges of that throw blanket sometime, and so it'll match her pillowcase. But so that's where the whole idea of like getting that macaw came from. And it seemed like every time I went into Walmart, that's where I get the red heart, is Walmart, because they don't sell it anywhere else around here. They didn't have the macaw. I was going to get some if they had it. And then of course I checked it. The next time I went into Walmart, after I just bought this huge order and got this macaw, they had this in the store. They only had 2 skeins of it, but still, they were the bigger skeins. I could have just gotten it at Walmart, just wait a little bit. But I'm glad I got all the rest of the yarn. But you know, that's what I got the macaw for, is to add to the blanket. So there'll be 1 skein on each. I mean, 2 skeins on each side of the blanket. So I got that. And so I do have intentions for some of this yarn, but some of it I just bought to have, and I don't really know what I'm going to use it for yet. And some of it is, I forgot. I need to keep, I don't want to make videos hardly anymore. But I need to keep an eye on the little counter, because every 20 minutes the damn, I didn't want to cuss in this, because some of my other videos I was just like F-bomb, F-bomb, you know, every other word. But no wonder it didn't get a lot of push out there from YouTube. But some of this yarn, I don't really know what to do. I feel like I lost my train of thought. Yeah, first time. Not the first time. But, so, hang on. Okay, so I buy my red heart at Walmart because they don't have it anywhere else. And one of the reasons why I wanted to buy this yarn at Yarnspirations is because my local yarn section at Walmart is just like basically one aisle, or like one half of an aisle, and they don't have all these colorways. They have, like, you know, some nice ones like the favorite stripe and the macaw, and you know, a lot of good colors, but they don't have a lot of these. I just saw in person just because I bought the yarn, and so I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, but I wanted to see it in person, and I knew I was going to use it for something. So anyway, so some of it I have a very specific project idea in mind for it, and I'm going to use it for a very specific thing. Some of it I don't. So the macaw is one where I know exactly what I'm going to use it for. This yarn is the peacock colorway. It's really pretty, and I'm not going to go. This video is going to be way longer than anybody ever should be subject to, like torture. Now, I don't need to go through every little thing. Most of the skeins are like 5 ounces and 236 yards or whatever. Some of them are like the double skeins, like I got a bunch of the bitty stripes, or the itty bitty. I think they're just bitty stripes. But so, you know, you can look it up on Yarnspirations.com. But most of the yarn that I buy is like the medium weight, like, you know, number 4 medium weight 100% acrylic kind of yarn. That's what I generally buy. Of course, the very next one is not that, but most of the yarn I bought is that, because that's what I'm used to. And so this is like a really pretty colorway. I don't know what I'm going to do. Most of the new ones, I bought new, well, they're all new to me for the most part. I bought like 2 of each. I probably should have bought more, but like I said, I spent more on this than I think anything. I think the biggest haul outside of this was when I bought a bunch of clearance yarn at Hobby Lobby last year. And that wasn't even like $50. And so this is like a huge deal for me. And so, like I don't like to, you know, buy a whole lot of yarn like this, but I thought I will use it, and I wanted to take advantage of this deal. So I bought 2 of these, and so that's a really nice colorway, like greens and blues and stuff. And then this one is, let's see, no, these 2 go together. Well, these are really close in color. Now these 2, this one's called Mirage. Now this one is like, okay, this is a really pretty colorway. This isn't really something that I would normally buy. This is like, you know, creams and light blues and stuff, and tan. Like I bought it on there because I thought this would sort of take me out of my comfort zone. I wear all black. I love black. But if I'm gonna buy color, I want like some really vibrant color. This is just not really my taste, or like, you know, browns and greens, or like, because I bought some this forest yarn too, that's Red Heart Super Saver, but this just isn't what I would normally buy. Or like pastels. I'm not really crazy about pastels either, but this, I just thought maybe I could buy this and use it for something, and like take myself out of my comfort zone. Although the second I opened this up and felt it, it's like, anybody who buys Red Heart knows that, like, you know, the consistency is not, the texture isn't consistent. Sometimes it's like really soft, sometimes it's like rough, and there have been times where I've touched Red Heart where it feels like rope. It's awful. But this isn't as bad as that. None of these, you know, feel like really scratchy and awful, but sometimes the Mexicana feels a little rough and awful, but which is a nice colorway, but it depends, and that's why I like to touch the yarn in the stores and stuff. But I thought I've touched enough Red Heart in Walmart and used it enough to know that I haven't come across any that, you know, feels really scratchy in a long time. So I thought I'll go ahead and take a chance and buy this on Yarnspirations.com. And but this is just, it's a little rougher than I like, but it's really nice, and I'll use it for something. They're pretty colors. These just aren't the colors that I would normally pick for something, but I thought I want to use it for something and like force myself to, you know, branch out and use different colorways, and it's nice. It's just a sort of a neutral kind of thing. I'm either like deep dark blacks or like really vibrant colorful colors. So bought 2 of those, use it for something. And then this one that is very similar. See, this, it feels a little like thinner and scratchy and stuff. It's called Aspen Print. Another one where like this just isn't really the color that I would normally pick, but I wanted to, you know, it felt like none of these colors, other than the macaw or whatever, or I got some basic black for something. None of these have ever shown up in my local Walmart, so it just felt like I wanted to get these because I'm never going to come across these in my Walmart unless they, you know, add another aisle, but they haven't done that. So I bought this color, and it's nice. It's just a little scratchier, but I'll use it for something. But I'm going to say that with every single thing that I take out of the box. This is called Aspen, so I got 2 of those. And then this is one of the bitty stripes. I've never seen this in store, but I just, every time I saw somebody use this on YouTube, I thought, God, I want to have some of this stuff, because I love their stripe yarn is really nice. Like the polo stripe, I love the vibrant teal blue color in that yarn. Their stripes are really pretty sometimes, but they just never really had any colorways that are like where the color changes are short and not very far apart. And so when they started to add these like bitty stripes, I thought I gotta have some of this stuff, because one of the things that they have at Hobby Lobby in there, I love this Yarn Diamond brand, is I'm gonna keep saying it. No, I do love their yarn. God, I hate that. But they do have a lot of variegated yarns that where the color changes are really short and stuff, and you get to like all the like when sometimes you'll look at a skein of yarn and you'll think, wow, look at all the colors, but then when you work it up, you know, it's like these huge stripes, and it takes a while to get to all the colors. But I love these where there's short color changes, and you get to like all the colors really quickly. And so like no matter what size of something that you make, you actually get to see all the colors in it. I started off making bookmarks, and so you know, they're like really small, and so if I, you know, use a yarn that has these really big stripes, you don't get to all the colors. And so with these, I feel like I can get to all the colors, and these are really pretty yarns. I'm glad that they're starting to make these, and all these are really soft. I was surprised. I mean, soft for Red Heart, soft as Red Heart, as far as, God, who cares? Soft as far as Red Heart is concerned, but it's really nice. And this one's called Sunset Beach, which makes me think of a soap opera I used to watch. Did anybody watch Sunset Beach? It only lasted 3 years, but I used to watch it. Anyway. And then this one's called Crayon Box. This is the one that I was most excited about seeing in person, and it is really nice. This is a really, really nice colorway. I don't know what I'm going to use this one for, but I want to use this one for something special. And because these are like double skeins compared to like the 5-ounce ones that the other ones are, I only got one of each of these. I probably should have gotten more, but you know, I'm not made of money, and I don't want to spend, you know, hundreds if not thousands of dollars on yarn when they may have the sale again. So I just wanted to get enough yarn where I can have a big variety, and I can, you know, branch out and get some different colorways that I don't have in my local store, and buy it from somewhere other than Hobby Lobby. But this is like, you know, a really deep, dark colors. I just really love that crayon box, and so I've got one of those. And then here's another bitty stripes. This one's called Galaxy. I love this one too. I love all kinds of space stuff and everything, and my niece's playroom is like back there. That's what those beads are for. I'm not like some, you know, pot smoking hippie like one of my friends is. No, that's not why I have those beads there. It's because it's my niece's playroom, and so she has like a galaxy theme in there, and but it's like these really pretty, it just reminds you of like, you know, the colors from space, just really pretty blues, and so I just love that colorway. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, here's two. This one, I don't know what, like when I saw this, when I first opened this, it's called Grape Fizz. This is a really, really pretty colorway. I thought, why doesn't my local Walmart carry that? Like some of these, like when I go through my aisle at Walmart, I'm just thinking, these are really nice and everything, but like when I saw this, I thought this should be on the shelves. Like, why is this just exclusively on, or it's not exclusively, it's just I'm sure it's sold in other stores and stuff, and probably in Joann, because Joann actually carried Red Heart. What I'm hoping with Joann closing is some of these other yarn sections in stores, and some of these other yarn stores will use this as an opportunity to, like, you know, add more yarn to their stores and stuff. And you know, because it seems like my Michaels doesn't have hardly any yarn. It's just a huge disappointment every time I go on my Michaels. They do have a couple Red Heart, but they don't have like this sitting there. And Walmart has that like 1/2 aisle. Hopefully they'll think, well, Joann is closing, and they had a huge yarn section, bigger than anything I've ever seen in person. And hopefully this will encourage other stores, and you know, like Michaels and even Hobby Lobby or Walmart or whatever, to start. Target's never sold yarn. Maybe one of these other stores will actually start. Not that they don't have to make their own yarn or even buy a big twist. They can just, like, you know, start stocking like Red Heart, or stocking the colors that, you know, don't show up in Walmart or whatever. This is like so pretty. I was thinking, if I had seen this in Walmart, I would have bought it, you know, I was gonna say years ago. It feels like years ago. I've only started crocheting less than a year ago, but I would have bought this months ago if I would have come across it at Walmart, but I never did. So this is a really pretty color. And then this one feels a little stiff too, and it's just sort of outside my comfort zone too. But it's mulberry mix. It's Super Saver stripes. Just kind of like it's kind of a neutral. It has like a little bit of a, what's that, like purple color. Like taupe. Is taupe a purple color? I don't know. Maybe I'm not I'm horrible with colorway names and stuff, and trying to like describe a very specific color. I know what a color looks like, but if somebody said what color is that, I don't know. And then like even the colorway names or something, you know, they're always ridiculous colorway names. But I don't know. It feels like it has like a tinge of a purple in it, but it's mainly like dark kind of grayish colors and tans and stuff. And I don't know if it's, you know, picking up on camera, but it just feels like it would go well with like a light purple color. It just sort of has that kind of vibe with this, but I don't know what I'm going to use that for either. But it's kind of nice. And then this one, no, this one I really love too. This is Monet, I think. Yeah. I was really excited to get this because this is really, really pretty. It's just really variegated and just like tons of colors in it. And it leans a little bit towards like pastel colors, but not like full-on Easter egg kind of pastels, which I'm not crazy about. It's, you know, just slightly, it's like slightly pastel, but they're like, you know, nice vibrant colors too. And this is a really nice colorway. I can't wait to figure out something to use with that. I use that for. Oh yeah, they did give us when you bought something on that Yarnspirations sale, they gave you an option for a free thing. I got one of those like yarn zip things. That I don't make amigurumi or anything, but I guess you can like crochet a zipper into something. I guess that's what that would be for, but I don't know. And then this one is Fruity Stripe. I'm glad I saw, because like when I was in Joann the other day, they actually had this colorway, and I almost bought it, even though the Red Heart wasn't a good deal at Joann. Because my Joann, it wasn't 25% off. The yarn was actually 30% off. And they had this, but the regular price, taking the 30% off, it wasn't a good deal on the Red Heart yarns. That's why. Red Heart yarn. That's why I didn't buy any at Joann the other day. But they did have this, and I thought, did I buy this in that yarn? I'm buying so much yarn, I don't even know what I buy anymore. I keep forgetting because they're all so different. But I actually did see this in Joann, and I didn't buy it because I think I might have bought some, and I'm glad that I didn't buy it because it wasn't a good deal anyway. But this is a nice striped yarn. See, these are the kind of colors I like, really vibrant, you know, bold kind of colors. So bought that, and I'm at almost 20 minutes now. Okay, and then these, let's see. Oh, let me do this one. This is another bitty stripe. This one's called Rainbow. Really nice colorway. Just, I love these. I can't believe that my local Walmart doesn't stock these. I mean, I like to say, well, maybe they do and people just buy them out. No, there's no space for it at all. Like, if they sold this in Walmart, maybe they do in other people's Walmarts, and mine just doesn't sell it. If they sold this in Walmart, this would be, you know, the shelf would be empty all the time. Maybe that's why they don't sell it, because then they would have like big empty shelves all the time. But just really, I'm glad I bought these, and I'm glad that they're coming out with these. They have a couple colorways that I wouldn't. I didn't buy every single one of them because there were a couple that just didn't seem like my kind of colors, and not worth it. Like, they weren't really vibrant colors like this. But I got all the really nice, pretty ones, and so that one. And then these. Let me do this one first. This is Red Heart Hygge. It's spelled Hygge. I bought some of this yarn. This is not the kind of yarn that I would ever buy. Although I have bought it, but I would never. Like, if I was looking for yarn, I would never buy it. It's like hairy, and it just feels like it would be hard to work with. But I was in Ollie's. I do find some yarn in Ollie's sometimes. But they had Ollie's. I don't even know. I can't remember the name of the colorway. But they had this yarn, and they only had one skein left. And I think it was like $5 or something. I can't remember the price of all these yarns, like individually, but they had this kind of yarn, and they only had one skein left, and it was kind of like messed up that the label was kind of coming off or whatever. And I thought, you know, I'm running out of places to find yarn, and this is like something unique, and it's not too thick and it's not too hairy. I thought maybe I could, like, you know, try to challenge myself and use a different kind of yarn that I'm not used to. So I bought that, and I made 2 cowls out of it. And it's nice. It's just I forget the colorway name, but this is what it turned out like. And of course it I look like an idiot wearing this, but luckily this is a crappy camera, you can't really see it very well. But it's just like a little twisted cowl sort of thing, and I'll probably end up selling these. But it turned out so nice that I thought, wait, this is the one, right? I think I made, because I have 2 of these. I'm almost sure this is the yarn. Yeah. I made 2 of these out of that one skein of the whatever this is. It's kind of like a burgundy-ish, brownish kind of color, and they turned out so nice. I thought, maybe I can. I'd love to find this in black because I wear black all the time, and I wanted to make myself one in black. But I couldn't find this anywhere in the stores. Like I said, Walmart's the only place that really carries Red Heart, other than like a very small section at my Michael's. And so they just didn't have this. And I went on this quest and I bought all kinds of different yarns. I bought like some chunky black yarn. I bought some like really thick, hairy yarn that was just like awful. I bought a bunch of different black yarns and made some cowls and stuff with it. But it didn't turn out like that other one that I really like. And so I bought one of these, so I'm going to make myself a cowl out of that, because I know it'll turn out nice because it's the same kind of yarn that I use for that cowl. So that's what. So I do have an intention for that. And then this yarn, I knew that this was different than like the regular Red Heart yarn. This is called Red Heart Gemstone, but I knew that but I saw that the colors were really pretty. I don't know what I'll use with it. I don't know if it's going to be hard to work with or whatever. This is a 4-weight, isn't it? Bulky 5? No, I doubt it. No, this is like, you can compare this to like the 4. There's no way this is bulky 5. But it's a really pretty bunch of colors, and so I'll use it for something. It's just, it's not the kind of yarn that I would particularly prefer. It just feels a little, people say it has like a halo on it. It sort of feels like that. It feels like a little fuzzy halo-y kind of thing. I'll make something really pretty out of it. It feels like the kind of yarn you'd make like a really soft scarf out of. But it's a gemstone. This one's called amethyst, and then this one is, see this one right here. This one's called. The older I get, it's gonna be harder to see the colorway names. Agate. Agate, I don't know how to say it. Agate. That's a really nice color, and this sort of reminded me, like on the picture, it reminded me of they have this puzzle yarn. I've never bought that before, but I've always kind of wondered. I was curious whether it would work up really nice or not. Then I saw it in my, I have a Walmart market in my area. They actually had some up there, but they were selling it on clearance for like $11. And I was thinking, I see that same colorway at my big Walmart for like $6. What are you talking about? I don't know why the heck they were, I could say so many cuss words. I don't know why they were selling it on clearance. They don't sell yarn in my Walmart, local Walmart market. But they had some up there, and I thought, I'm not going to buy this for $6. I haven't bought it for $6. I'm not going to buy it for $11. But it sort of reminds me of that kind of look, that like the puzzle yarn almost, although it's like the texture is different, and it's not as bulky. Like that is bulky yarn. This is not bulky yarn. It's not number 5, but they're really pretty. I mean, I love really vibrant colors like this. This feels like, kind of would be perfect for like a fall thing, like a hat or a scarf. And then this other one is really nice too. I feel like the picture of this one looked better than the what it looks like in person. Not that this isn't pretty in person. This is really pretty, but I feel like the picture looked a little bit better. Speaking of that, women, this is called Emerald. But I bought some yarn recently. It was Red Heart from Amazon. Like, I know that the color, the pictures of the colors, colorways are subjective, and it depends on your screen and how you're looking at it, or the kind of camera they used or whatever. But for the most part, or like the dye lots, I know that they can look a little bit differently than the pictures. But like the yarn that I bought recently, that was Red Heart, the picture looks nothing like the skein of yarn. It's called Bon Bon. Where is it? Find it in my mess of stuff here. Okay, so this is Bon Bon, and like the picture online, look, like I said, I don't really keep track of all the colorway names because I buy so much yarn, and I would never look at this and think, oh, I'm gonna call this Bon Bon, so I don't know them by colorway names unless they're like something that I use unless it's something that I use a lot of, and so. I stutter a lot too. Get used to it. If you've watched this far, but so I when I look at this, I see like, you know, pink and blue. So I would never think to call it Bonbon, but they have a ridiculous colorway names. But when I saw this online, look it up online. Look it up on Yarnspirations.com. Look it up on any retailer. Walmart sells this. Look it up on Amazon. Look at the picture, and then and try to find this in person and compare it to what the picture looks like. It looks nothing like this. Like in the picture, it looks like it has teals and vibrant pinks. This is like, you know, blues and sort of dullish pinks. That's what this is. Not that that's I mean, it's a really pretty colorway, but it looks nothing like the picture. So you know, just be aware of that if you look for Bonbon, or if you buy Bonbon. It's just, it doesn't look anything like the picture. But it's a nice colorway, but you know, it's just not like not like the picture. But anyway, let me put all this back in the box. Anyway. Okay, box number 2, which isn't as full as the first box. Are you halfway done with your blanket yet, or did you doze off underneath it because I'm so boring? Anyway, so this is the another Bitty Stripes, and this is really nice. It's called Sweetie. It sort of reminds me of like something that would be summery, like reminds you of like pink lemonade or some kind of. This would be like make something really nice for summer. But it's a really nice Bitty Stripes yarn. And then this one is another Bitty Stripes, Horizon. It has a lot of nice blues and stuff like that. This would go really well with that Galaxy yarn, I think. But it's a really good Bitty Stripes. And then this one is another Bitty Stripes called Mermaid, and I have to resist the urge to let my niece see this yarn. If she finds out this is called Mermaid, she's gonna want something made out of this, and because I've made her all kinds of things, but I've probably made her more things with my crocheting than I've made for even myself or anybody else. But if she knows this if she knew that this was Mermaid, she'd want this made into something for her. But it's really nice, teals and purples and some blues and stuff. That's a really pretty color. And then another Bitty Stripes. I got like practically all of them, all the really pretty ones. Lollies. This is really nice too. I like the pinks in this mixed with the teals and blues. So that's a nice colorway. And I think that's all the Bitty Stripes I got. This one is a big skein. Like I said, I bought the small skeins. I bought 2 of, and then the Bitty Stripes only bought 1 of because they're kind of like double skeins. I saw this colorway and they were out of it in the small skein, so I went ahead and bought like a jumbo skein of it. So it's like a double skein because these are like 10 ounces and the smaller ones are 5 ounces, I think. Some of them have been 7 ounces in the past, but I think they changed it to 5. I don't know. But this one's called Wildflower, and so it's a little rougher than I like it, but it's not, you know, really bad. But this is a really pretty colorway mix, and purples and teals and greens and stuff. And like the teal in this looks like the teal in the picture that the Bonbon should have, but this is a really nice colorway. And like I said, I've never seen any of these in my local store, my local Walmart. Okay, so I think that's all the big Bitty Stripes. And so there's this one. This is Reef, and it has like teals and browns and stuff. I thought it was like a unique color. Even though it has like brown and everything, I just thought it was like a really unique kind of mix of color. It's coming off kind of green on camera, this crappy camera, but it's more like teals mixed with the browns. That would be something really pretty for fall, I think. And then these 2 are Icelandic. Now this is like a rough yarn. I hate that because this is it has like some grays in it, but like the bluish teal in this is really pretty, but it feels kind of thin and not rope like, but just kind of thin and scratchy. I don't like the feel of this yarn, but I'll make it into something. And I know I've steamed Red Heart before. I've never like washed it. I don't have a dryer. I just dry my clothes. But I know that you can like wash the yarn and it can after you make something, and it'll soften up. But I've never like had to wash. I haven't made a lot of wearables yet. That's one of the things I want to do. Is start to make like wearable things. I mean, I've made cowls and scarves and stuff, but I've never like actually worn them myself. They've been for other people. I made a shawl for somebody. I made all kinds of things. But it just feels like this is just really scratchy. I hate that because it's a nice colorway. I'll use it for something that. Maybe I'll use it for something that I can wash, and maybe it'll soften up a little bit. It even feels thinner. It feels like if you compare it to the Reef, it just sort of feel like, see how much thinner it is. I've encountered that before in person. Like they had yarn at Ollie's. I think it was called Claret, and I was gonna buy some more. I have it right here. I bought it in here because I was gonna talk about that. If I needed this video to be any longer than it already is. This is a skein of, I think it's Claret. Yeah, C-L-A-R-E-T. It's sort of like a burgundy color. And I bought a big skein of this, and I made a bunch of bookmarks out of this, and it's a whole other story. But I was going to buy another skein of this because they had it at Ollie's. But it was so dense and hard feeling. It just, this is like really nice and soft and fluffy. It was just so dense and so, like, I tried to pull it out and it felt really rough, and I thought no wonder that ended up at Ollie's. But they had this one at Ollie's too, and it was really soft. So I don't know. That's why I love to feel the yarn in person, because sometimes it's not just like the name brand. You can't just think, oh well, Red Heart, if you feel a Red Heart, it's really soft, all their yarn is soft. It's not the case. It's like sometimes even the same brand and the same colorway can be like different from skein to skein. Luckily, when you buy it I've never bought like a bunch of skeins of the same colorway in online, and then when it got here, like a couple of them were really soft, and then like one was really hard. Usually they're from the same dye lot, and they're all basically feel the same for the most part. But I just can't believe how different that yarn was, and it looks smaller. One of the yarns I bought at Ollie's was this Bluebell, and I bought a couple skeins of this. At my Ollie's, they had like a couple of these, but there's another Ollie's I went to the other day. It's same where Joann was. And they had like probably 500 skeins of this Bluebell yarn. It was ridiculous, like the giant box of this stuff that they had. But I didn't need that much Bluebell. But like, okay, this is how big this skein. This is a new one. This is how big that skein was. I swear that that Claret the other day was like not even that big. It was like ridiculous how much smaller it looked, even though it was the same yardage and everything. And I had gotten one that I knew was really soft, and it was just so jam packed, and they're just really dense and thin, and just, it wasn't nice. So that's why I like to have it in person, but it's just, you know, it's getting harder to find the yarn in person. A big variety anyway. And so this is the Karen yarn that I got. Karen, I meant Bernat. I haven't bought a lot of Bernat either. I guess I didn't buy any Karen. I thought I did. Bernat, but I never bought any Bernat either. No, I bought one of the blanket yarns for for this puppet that I made. It's a whole thing, because like I said, I watch my niece. I used some of the Bernat for her hair. But I thought I bought a Karen. But anyway, this is Bernat. This color, Sedona Sunset, which is a nice, you know, variegated yarn. Really nice color. So I bought that. I just bought one of those because I never bought any of the Bernat variegated. And then the only other thing, oh, they put another zipper in here, even though it was only one order. And then I bought two packs of or not two. I mean, I bought 4 jumbo skeins of the black, the Red Heart Super Saver, because what I want to do with this is I want to make me a sweater, like a turtleneck sweater. I'm a big, you know, badass, and it's hard for me to find like a I've always wanted to have like a turtleneck sweater that would fit my big ass, and then but it's hard to find one, and in my size, it makes me feel comfortable. I wear like a 6X. I probably wear clothes a little bit bigger than I should. I could probably fit into like a 4X, but I like to feel comfortable, and I like it to be like really baggy, and so it's hard for me to find like a really nice turtleneck sweater that would fit me, and without spending $50 or whatever, getting it shipped from somewhere, and having to wait through customs and like all that kind of stuff, or it coming and then it not fitting me right or whatever. Every time I've ever tried to buy one like that, it doesn't fit right. So I thought I can probably make one. I've seen people make sweaters online where it's just like a panel, from here to here. I'm not gonna make it with like all kinds of increases and decreases and make it like form fitting and like I just want like a basic thing, like even if it's like really baggy, just like make a panel here, and then have like the two panels like up here, like added to the top, and I'll probably like start here and then like decrease down to sort of make it like a curve, and then I can like add the turtleneck afterwards, because I don't want it to be like just this big box here. I might like start like here and then like decrease to make that that part right here kind of come down like that, and then make the back, and then make the arm panels. It seems easy enough where I could probably make a sweater, and so I bought the yarn. That's what I bought that black yarn for myself, to make a sweater. And I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. What I'm going to do is I have an old teddy bear from when I was growing up, and I love that teddy bear. I've had it since I was a kid, and I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make another sweater for my teddy bear, and then if just as like a fun thing, and then if that actually works, then I'll feel more confident making my black sweater. And if it doesn't, then it's like, oh, I just made like a really messed up sweater from my teddy bear from when I was a kid. So that's the plan with that. So let me put all this back in there, and I'll show the Joann stuff. Now, like I said, I bought Joann yarn before. It was online. That was before I went to Joann, and then I eventually went to Joann because I thought, well, it's only like 30 minutes away, and I made this whole trip out of it and everything, and I bought some in person that first time I went to Joann, but then when I got it home, I realized like, oh, most of the yarn that I bought was red heart. I thought like, oh, I finally bought some Joann yarn in person, but then when I brought it home, I thought, oh, all this is like red heart. So just because of how the yarn was in the store, but I did buy some online last year, and this is like what I have left, and I may have some more in my my stash, but it's so disorganized right now. I need to go through it, and it's just because there's so much of it. It was organized like a few weeks ago, and into like these little bins and stuff, and I bought these nice shelves and these plastic boxes and stuff to organize it, and then I buy all this, and it's just turned into like total chaos in my lawn. It used to be a laundry room, now it's just like a yarn room at this point, because it's taking up a whole space. I have to keep moving like boxes of yarn just to get to the washing machine every week. But anyway, the one of them I had bought is this pool time. I'm not gonna go through all the colorways with this, but like this is what I'm talking about. Like this, what I loved about Joann yarn is the colors are really pretty, but it's the texture of it, like the execution of it, that is really disappointing. If you look at it really closely, you may not be able to see it on camera very well, but this is like so that like it looks really bulky, but then when you just like all you have to do is tug on it a little bit, and it just gets really thin. It feels really thin, and it's just like really splitty. Like you can see all the way that the yarn is twisted. All I have to do is kind of do like this, and it just like it pulls apart. Hang on, I should block my face. I should have done that from the beginning. My ugly face. It's so. Like, I cannot believe how splitty this is. Like, it just doesn't feel as twisted as yarn should be. You shouldn't be able to just kind of like twist like this, and then you can like see like all the little strands of yarn. It shouldn't be that splitty. So the blue was disappointing. My niece loves blue, and so I've made a lot of stuff with this the blue yarn that I got from Joann. It was sort of a nightmare to work with, just because of how much it would catch, and the splittiness about it, and how thin it was. The green was the same way. The green is that same kind of split. It just feels so like so thin. I mean like so squishy, and like it should not feel this thin. I don't get it. So I hate to, be so negative about Joann yarn, because they're going, like, the employees are. It's not like they have so much yarn left, and they didn't have any of this left either. It's not like I'm discouraging people from like buying from Joann. Please do if you like Joann yarn. But see what I'm saying? Like how like I should not be able to do that with yarn. It's that thin and splitty. So that's why I just wasn't really impressed with Big Twist. Sometimes it's nice, but sometimes it's like this. And so because it wasn't consistent, and I bought all this yarn, and when it came, it just made me kind of leery of buying it, because I don't know if it's going to show up really nice or really splitty and thin like this. So this one's just lime jelly. When I was at Joann the other day, this is yarn I bought last year, of course. They didn't have hardly any of the variegated yarns left. The only one that they had left was this, which I'll show, and it's called Aqua Ombre. This is really pretty. I love, see, on camera it looks kind of green. It's like a bluish teal color. This was so pretty. When I saw this, I thought, I can't believe that nobody bought this. But it was because the yarn was so thin. Like this yarn, this was the only, they had 4 skeins of this left. This was the only skein in the 4 that they had in the store that was actually nice and thick. And like the other, when you feel it like this, it feels like really significant. The other ones, they felt like this. It felt like completely different yarn, like it was made by 2 different companies. This was like really thick and substantial. This, and the other 3 were like this, and that's why I didn't buy them. I just bought the one. I would have bought, if they were all like this, I would have bought all 4 of them, but I only bought one. And so that was kind of disappointing. So when I went to Joann, they had, this was like the only Big Twist variegated they had left. In like the basic acrylics. I don't know, I may be wrong about like the thicker ones, or like the blanket kind of yarns, or like whatever. But like as far as Big Twist goes, this was the only one that they had, the only color that they had that was like variegated. They had like tons of solids, and way more browns and grays and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, they just had, like, this was the only variegated, and they had like a lot of red heart, but they had way more yarn than I ever thought that they would have left. So that was cool. But anyway, and I'll go back through the other ones. So like this yarn was Rainbow Wish, and see, this is another one. I've used some of this, that's why this feels extra thin. But this is another one that felt kind of thin and splitty. Even though the colors are really pretty, like they always got the colors right. It was just the texture of it and working with it. And I mean, it almost feels like 2-weight. It's not even, or I mean 3-weight. This is a medium 4, but it feels thin. But so these are like the 3 disappointing ones. And then this red. See, this was really nice. The red that I got. It was called Cherry Mix. Like, I loved this. I wish I could have gotten more of this yarn. This came, and it was, pretty like that, but it was actually, it feels substantial. It feels like it's not, thin and splitty. So that was a good one. And then this Big Twist, what is this? Roller Rink. Like, this is really not, beautiful colors and nice thick yarn, not splitty, not, if you twist it, it doesn't like come apart. Really nice yarn. So that's what I always just didn't like about the Big Twist when I encountered it. It wasn't consistent, so I didn't really know what I was getting. So I would rather just get something in person here in town, and know that it, even though it's from Hobby Lobby or wherever, at least it would be yarn that I knew was good. And then this one is the Arcade Party, another really pretty colorway, and it actually showed up, and I can't remember, some of these I bought in person, but I can't remember which ones I bought online or whatever. But another one that it's perfect, like just a really nice colorway, and really nice yarn, and thick and substantial, and just really good. And then this other one, I can't remember the name of this, purple something or other, and it has like purple and black in it, and this was like one of the most frustrating skeins I think I've ever gotten. It was so irritating. I hate knots in yarn. I know that it's something you have to deal with if you're a crocheter or whatever. I know that it's unavoidable how they make the yarn. But this was like so unacceptable, because when I pulled it out and I was making a bookmark with it, and my bookmarks are only like, keep dropping it. My bookmarks are only like this tall and like that wide. So I got like halfway into it, and there was a knot like that. I just pulled the yarn out, and I didn't even get that far. I didn't even get far enough to make a bookmark, and there was a knot. And so I had to, you know, cut it out, because you always have to cut out those knots. Don't trust those knots. Cut them out, and you'll make your own, and then weave in the ends. And so I got that far, and then I had to cut it out, and I tied it off. And then I started to make it, and it just felt thin all of a sudden. Like the yarn at the very start of the skein was thick and good, and then it, like, from one side of the knot to the next, it turned into this thin splitty yarn. Like, really, it was frustrating, because the bookmark just sort of looks uneven, because there's, like, you know, it started off really thick, and then it switches to like this thin crappy yarn. So that was really frustrating about it, because this is, like I said, this is really pretty. I just made a granny square. This is a whole separate video, but I never really liked granny squares before, and I realized, because I made up my own stitch recently, a couple weeks ago. I've been wanting to make my own stitch for, you know, months, and I've been trying and failing every single time. And I finally nailed how to make my own stitch. I call it the EG stitch. I'm gonna make a tutorial about it in the future, and it's just really cool. And I've made a throw blanket, and I'm making another throw blanket, which I need to show off. It's teal that I'm doing, but I made this stitch up, and it uses, I call it the EG stitch, not just because it's my name, but because the whole EG thing, I use the number 57 in a lot of things, because, you know, like E is the fifth letter, and G is the seventh. And so I use, like, there's 5s and 7s in the way it works up. And actually, it actually lays flat. It creates like these little little clusters, little bumps or whatever. It's just really cool texture, and but it actually works, and it actually crochets up evenly. And when I nailed it, I was like, I cannot believe it worked. I almost said the F word. I can't believe that it worked, and like, it actually worked, and it was such a, I was like almost giddy like a little girl, but anyway, I was just so excited. And so what I wanted to do was, I've never really liked granny squares, and but I wanted to try to use that stitch in like a granny square, to try to like figure out if I can make a granny square or something like that with that stitch. And so I started to do it, because I knew the basics of how to make like a granny square for the most part, but it just wasn't working up right. And so I thought, what I need to do is just make a granny square, and like a very basic, you know, the granny square is the very basic one, just so I know the whole process, and then I can apply my stitch to that and figure out how many chains have to be in between it for it to lay right, or like whatever. Because I tried to do it, and it would like bunch up, and it almost looked like I was making amigurumi or something. But I need to figure it all out. And so I thought I need to make a granny square, even though I'm not really crazy about them. But then when I did it, I thought, okay, this is like really nice. This is kind of pretty. I mean, this is made from, I had a little bit of macaw left from one of my other skeins. I made it with macaw. It's really pretty. Like, I actually kind of like this. And I realized, I guess the whole, my aversion to granny squares, I think it's just like the colors that people use. It's not really, I guess all it is like, you know, 3 double crochets and you know, chains in between them, and you just go around in a square. That's basically all it is. There's nothing really wrong with the pattern of a granny square. I think what I don't like about granny squares, and what I'm sure a lot of people that hate granny squares don't like, is that the colors that people use. The way they like change colors with every row, and then it goes from like, you know, a tan color to like a hot pink, and then the next one is like a brown, and then the next one is purple, and then the next one is like a hot like a lime green. That's what I think makes granny squares so unappealing to the people like me that think we don't like granny squares. I think it's just I don't know, maybe it's the designer in me. I need the colors to like make sense together and match or whatever, and complement each other. And it's when they just add a bunch of random colors that don't really go together that makes them look ugly to me. I mean, if you like that, then, you know, that's fine. But like, I don't like when all the colors don't really work together, because it makes you not, you think it's because you don't like granny squares, but I think it's just the colors that people mix together. And so this is really nice. I have no problem with this. It's, you know, it's nice. And then I thought to make another one, and so I made this one yesterday. Really, I'm really happy with this. I actually like this, and it's just like the basic granny square. What I did was I used that purple, the purple and black, whatever this is called, from Big Twist, and I used, because I have 2 balls of that, because like one ball of that is like the thin side, and one ball was the thicker side, or whatever it was, and so I have 2 balls of that. So I used like one strand and another strand, and I made like the center of it, and then this around it is I think it's Paint Party from it's one of the colors I used in the first throw blanket I made with my EG stitch, and I had like 2 little balls of that Paint Party left, and so I doubled that up and just made like a little border around it, and just kind of joined it, and just to see if I could join it and change colors, and so I made it, and it matches perfectly, and like, see this, I have no problem with this. So it's not the granny squares themselves, it's just the colors that people pick and how they don't really complement each other. But anyway, so that's, I only said that just to say that the purple in that is the purple that I bought last year from Big Twist. So, but anyway, so let me go through the Big Twist. God, I know this video is gonna be way long, but anyway, if you're watching this, hopefully you're almost done with your blanket. Anyway, so I bought this, a Big Twist Twinkle. It's like a deep dark red. This is what is it, like a burgundy color, mulberry. I love the yarn with I love all glittery things, and even though I'm like, I wear a lot of black and stuff, I do love really colorful things. I love like glittery things. There's this whole like if I have a backdrop that I'm gonna be using in my videos. It has like sequins and stuff, and I have this like sequin thing on it. But here, and I have I'm gonna put a mask on, because it has my logo on it, and this is not to cover my face, although that's a plus. That's an unintended positive, but. I have this like mask that I made out of moldable plastic, and it has like glitter on it and stuff, and there's this whole glitter thing to my my branding, but whatever, I'll talk about in the future, and when I'm not talking about yarn. But I do love like glittery things, and I love glittery yarn. Some people don't like the texture, but actually it's worth it because it's so pretty. I mean, just love glitter. I used to be obsessed with I'm obsessed with the ruby slippers. Shocking, but so I love glittery things. So I got a skein of that. I have some red that's like this. I think it's Red Heart, but I don't think I had like the mulberry color. And so and then like I said, I got this skein too, and then all the rest of it is Big Twist Living. That they actually did have some of that. Maybe they had a lot of this left because of it being more expensive. It was like $6.99 or something, but with the 30% off, it was cheaper than that. But maybe that was why they had a lot of this left, because the Big Twist value was like cheaper than that regular price. But they had 3 of these. All right, three of these, no, 4. Because I bought these in 2 batches. I went in there first, and then I bought like 1 of each of these, and then I left, and I was like going around where my Joann was, and went to a couple other places, and then I thought maybe I should buy some more of that Pride yarn, because they're not going to have that anymore, and in spite of the fact that I don't like how some of the color works up, how it's sort of chaotic, and this isn't Pride related. This is just the Big Twist Living, and it's called what is it? Favorite something or other, or no, Fun Brights. So I bought 4 of these. I wasn't sure, because the community has so many flags. You don't know. I can barely keep track of which ones are which, because we all have our own flags. But this is just like a Fun Brights or whatever. I'll make something really pretty out of this. What I plan on doing is making maybe some beanies and some maybe some scarves, or like, I don't know what I'll make with it. I know with the Pride yarn, I'm going to make something for Pride, and if that's in June, I don't know if like a scarf would be good. I might have to make like some really thin scarves where they're just decorative instead of like being something that would keep you warm, because if it's like in the height of summer, it's going to be no one's going to be wanting to wear scarves at some Pride event, and then like beanies and stuff, but I don't know, but I bought like, there's 4 of these, and then because I bought like 1 of each of the colors, but because I thought I could make some stuff for Pride or whatever, and they're not going to have these colors anymore, I went back in and bought a whole bunch more. And what was funny is the woman at the register, She picked up one. I forget which one she picked up. Let's say she picked up. I only got one of these because I only had one left. The inclusivity. She picked it up and she said, "Do you know what this yarn represents?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I know what that the yarn represents." And we had this really nice conversation and stuff. And she was like talking about like one of the colors that they didn't have, and she wants her friend to make her one for her, or make her something with that if they ever come across it or whatever. But we just had this really nice conversation. That's what I'm going to miss about going into stores like Joann, or because like even the last time I was in Joann, talking to the employees at these places that like these specifically craft stores. You have such great interactions with these people, and so that's going to be the biggest loss. Everybody can find yarn online, all that kind of stuff, but what's going to be the big loss is like not having those kind of interactions with just like random people that are working in a craft store and are like really crafty themselves and stuff, and strike up a conversation about like, oh, what kind of stuff are you gonna make with this, or oh, I love this yarn. Now I've never used this kind of yarn before. They're crafty too. That they wouldn't be working in like I've had a conversation with people in Michael's. Not so much Hobby Lobby, which is weird because I shop there a lot. It seems like a lot of the people that work in there aren't as crafty as like somebody that's working at Michael's or that has worked at Joann. But I've had these really nice conversations with people, just a couple minutes or whatever, just talking about like what I'm making with things, or like the kind of yarn that I buy, or like, oh yeah, I've never seen this yarn before. That's what's gonna be disappointing when Joann closes, or when any kind of craft store closes, is like that community aspect, and not being able to touch things in person, and then not being able to like interact with people that are also crafty like you are, just like random people. I mean, sometimes I've been in Walmart and people will like come up to you and say like, oh, what are you making, or what do you make with your with yarn, or I've had some really like, just I'm not a very conversational person. I'm a person that likes to talk to people in public, but I've actually had conversations with people in public about yarn and crafts of all things, and that's one of the powerful things about yarn and crafting and stuff, and crochet, and it's like this built-in community. All you have to do is like have something on that has yarn, have a skein of yarn in your hand or whatever, and you can instantly strike up a conversation with somebody that you can imagine that you've been friends with for years, or you could be friends with for years, and that's just like the power of like craft and art and all. And I missed the 20-minute mark. But what all I was saying was that's just like the powerful thing about like anything crafty and artistic and all that kind of stuff. It's like sort of an automatic connection with somebody, and you're already part of like a community of people. But anyway, so that was like the second trip into Joann. So I bought this the first trip. They only had this one skein left, and the thing I don't like about I love the meaning behind this Big Twist Living, and how it matches all the pride flags and the colors and stuff. But what I don't like about how this was designed is the sporadicness of the color changes. Like I had bought that was another one I bought a long time ago when I bought the Big Twist from Joann.com. Is I bought the inclusivity, like the regular gay pride flag, and I didn't like how the colors worked up, because it would be like red, and then it would go to orange, but then it would go back to red for like a little bit, and then it would go back to orange, and then it would go to yellow for like a little bit, and then it would go back to orange, and then go back to yellow, like that kind of stuff. I didn't like how it just was all over the place. You would think I would like that because of how my brain works sometimes, but I just didn't like it. And so what I did was I used that yarn and I made like this like circular placemat sort of thing, or like I don't know what, it would go on like a table or something. I don't know what I'll use this for, but that's what I use for. And see how it looks nice. It's okay, but it just looks like it's all over the place. And like I tried to make a bookmark with it, and it just looked like the way the color keeps changing, like back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it looks like I messed up. Like I crocheted something, and I wasn't skilled enough, and I didn't know how to do the color changes, and I just screwed up. But it's just the way that the yarn is designed. But if you like that, I mean, I like the meaning behind the yarn, and I like that that the colors are okay. The red in this is like a little bit. It looks a little bit better in this skein, but the red just sort of feels kind of like a rusty sort of red, and like even the purple is a little bit dullish color. It looks a little bit better. I think it must have been the dye lot of the one that I bought, because this one looks a little bit better than the dye lot that I used for this. Because like the purple, it looks better in this skein than it does from the skein that I got originally. So I think it was just a dye lot issue. But that's the only issue I had with like the yarn. So I bought one of those, and then the other ones I bought for the let's see, 4 of this color, and this one's called Serenity, and I think this is the lesbian. No, this is the bisexual flag, and then the lesbian one is this one, which is a really pretty color. I forget the names of these. Spirit. So that I bought 4 of those, and the second time I went in there, I don't know if it's because of that that woman I was talking to, but the yarn in my Joann was 30% off. But then the second time I went through there and bought all this yarn and was talking to her about it, I got another 20% off. So I don't know, maybe she was just being nice. No, I think it was just I saw somebody talk about it online that some of the stores got like an extra 20% off coupon to scan at the register or whatever, because it was a way to like get rid of stock or whatever quicker or something. I don't know. I'm gonna forever think that, you know, that girl was just she was like 20. I'm like almost 40 years old, so anybody, you know, in their 20s is like a girl. That woman in Joann, I'm forever going to think that she did that just to be nice, but you know, it could just be like they you know, were supposed to scan the coupon, and the woman before her the first trip didn't do it. I have no idea, but she was nice anyway. But and then this one, I think this is like the pan flag. This is whatever colorway it is. Confidence. So it's 4 of those. And then the trans flag, which is here. So like this, I don't like the pastel color, Scott. But this is called Life. But you know, it's for the flag. But like I would never buy this unless it was Pride yarn. I just don't like pastel colors. I have no idea why, but I like really vibrant colors. But I wanted to buy all this to use for you know, something Pride related or whatever, for Pride month. And so I bought all those. And these were like the only, other than that tealish color or whatever, these were like the only variegated yarns they had left in Big Twist that I remember. So I bought a whole bunch of that. Like I didn't expect to buy all this yarn from Joann. I had just bought, you know, $160 worth of yarn from Yarnspirations, but you know, I wanted to buy all this yarn and use it for something. But so I bought all this yarn. Oh, they actually had a Joann bag. I have like a reusable bag, but I don't really use it that often. But they actually had like the Joann bag. I've seen videos online where people are like leaving their Joanns with garbage bags full of yarn. They didn't even like send the they ran out of the bags, and they didn't even get any more Joann bags in. So I guess my Joann, even though it was, I think it was part of the first list of Joanns that were leaving or that were closing, they actually still had the bags, and they actually still have a lot of yarn. I was surprised, but anyway, so that was my like Joann haul that I didn't expect to get. So let me see, what other thing can I take? Hang on. What other thing can I talk about? I will talk about this forest yarn. The Red Heart Super Saver stripes. It's called Forest, and like this also isn't the color like I would normally pick. You know, I'm not really into like, you know, browns and you know, greens, and it just feels like, you know, kind of like camouflage-ish. See, I can't even say. This feels more like, you know, some camouflage-ish thing, something that somebody that wouldn't buy Pride yarn would, you know, buy, like something for like really masculine, really like, you know, kind of, it just feels like something that you would make for like a bro kind of guy, and I'm definitely not a bro. like, you know, some dude or whatever. Although I've been called boss a couple times by some of these young guys in stores, which is weird. Hey, that's boss. Like, I don't know. Is that like the thing that people call each other now? Boss? I don't know. But so I keep buying this yarn because this isn't like something that I would normally buy for something for myself. But I thought I keep getting a really good deal on this yarn on Amazon. Watch this yarn on Amazon. They have a limit of 4. Like, it comes in 3 packs, and the regular price for the Red Heart Super Saver, like the skeins this big, they're like 5 ounces. You can get a 3-pack. It usually runs around like $10 to $12. That's usually the generic, like, the usual price for this. But for some reason, this forest yarn, it's only this forest colorway, it keeps like dropping down like 75%. I keep seeing it for like $3 and something for 3 skeins of this, which is an insane price. Like, I don't see myself making a scarf and wearing it with this, or like, but you know, I do have an affection for, you know, people in the military and stuff. My dad was in the Navy. He's like, you know, up there on the piano, his urn, and he didn't die in some war or something. He died of cancer. But I'm saying he was in the Navy, and I have a lot of relatives that were, you know, in the service and stuff. And so, you know, that's why I feel like I wanted to buy a lot of this yarn and make it for, you know, people that, you know, that like, you know, camouflage kind of colors, or that, you know, are, you know, in the service, or like whatever. I can make a lot of things like that, and for, you know, my website to sell on my website, and for that deep of a discount. I mean, it was like, I think it was $3.37 or something for 3 skeins, and they had a limit of 4, so like every single time it dropped down that low. I seemed to catch it like a bunch of times. Every single time it dropped down that low, I would buy 4 of the 3 packs, because there was a limit of 4. And so I was getting like 12 skeins at a time for like, I think it was $14.32, which is insane. I mean, you can't get it, you can't get like 3 skeins at Goodwill for that price, because how ridiculous their prices are sometimes on yarn, of all things, when it's like really old. But you can't get that price like anywhere unless you make it to Hobby Lobby to get the clearance yarn or something every year. Like, it's basically $1 something a skein of like really nice, this is really surprisingly this is really soft yarn, even though it has like browns and stuff. This is really like nice yarn, the forest yarn. And so I'm gonna make all kinds of stuff with that yarn. I think I got the deal. I've gotten it like 7 times already, and some of it, like a couple of the orders were for somebody else to use for something else. I won't say it on here because it's a surprise for somebody. But then the rest of them are like ones that I'm going to use for myself and use for all kinds of things. But just check out that forest yarn on Amazon and watch it. Like, keep it in your shopping cart and then just keep checking it all the time. Because like, especially in the night, it just drops down to $3.37 all of a sudden for like 3 skeins, and you know, you can get it for like 4 times, like, or I mean, 4 times per order. Just an insane deal, and so you couldn't pass it up. I mean, it's like, I mean, yeah, the colors aren't something that I would use for myself, but like, somebody's gonna really like whatever I make with this. I've already started to make a little throw blanket. I have so many works in progress, whips or whatever. I have so many things that I'm working on right now that aren't finished, but I'm sure every single crafter and every single crocheter is exactly like I am. Have all kinds of, you know, whips going on, all that kind of stuff. But I did start to make a throw blanket with that forest yarn that uses my EG stitch. It's turned out really nice, but I didn't get very far on it because I'm using because I'm doing other things in addition to that. Let me get my my throw blanket. Hang on. Okay, this is the first throw blanket I made with my EG stitch. I just used a bunch of different yarns from Hobby Lobby to make this, and because I was so excited about this stitch, how it just actually worked. Because if you could see some of my attempts at trying to make my own stitch, and just like clumping all up, or just like messing, because I was like trying to work the number 5 and the number 7 in there and try to do this and because I wanted to like make, like, actually use my initials in it, use my 57 in it in some way to, like, you know, kind of put myself into the stitch, into the creation of the stitch, and it just wouldn't work every single time. And so I finally got it right, and I wanted to make like a really pretty throw blanket. And so this is the one I made. It's just so nice. See, it creates this like really bumpy kind of texture. It's not like, you know, really hard. It's like these really soft little bumps and stuff, and it just creates this really cool texture. I use all kinds of different yarns with this throw blanket. Just kind of mixed all kinds of pretty vibrant yarns from Hobby Lobby, and so I made this like really big throw blanket for myself, just to, you know, have something to kind of show off the like a perfect representation of how nice this stitch is. And so I made this throw blanket, and then the one so this is completely done, and the one I'm working on now is like I said, the polo stripe that I have over there on the chair. There's a really pretty section of that polo stripe where it's like this really vibrant tealish blue color. It's just every time I would when I was working with it, every time I got to that color, I just thought, God, I wish that Red Heart would have just that color in a skein, because it's such a really pretty vibrant tealish blue color. So I wanted to try to like figure out how to make something that would remind me of that color. And so I went to I found 2 yarns at Hobby Lobby. Where's my all over the place here. I found 2 yarns at Hobby Lobby. One is this, I think it's called Peacock too. It's like a blue with a metallic strand in it. You know, I love this yarn, Damn It yarn. And it's the metallic, and it's a really pretty blue. And then they have this Crafter's Secret teal, the Fabulous from Crafter's Secret Big Idea. This is another Hobby Lobby brand. So I wanted to, I incorporated these 2 together. And see, on camera, it's not gonna, see, this looks green on my little viewfinder, but this is like a teal color. I mixed these together to make my next throw blanket. The reason why I wanted to use this yarn brand, it's another Hobby Lobby brand, is I bought some light blue with this, because the whole reason I bought that Bluebell is well, not the whole reason. I bought that Bluebell because it was at Ollie's and it was only $5 for one of those big skeins. And then I found a reason to use it. It's this whole like 10th Kingdom thing. If you know what the 10th Kingdom is, God, you need to look up what the 10th Kingdom is. But I made a whole bunch of bookmarks. It's this whole thing. It's a whole other video. But I made bookmarks for the 10th Kingdom, and this is the 10th Kingdom. Do that, almost fall out of my chair. This is the 10th Kingdom. It's a mini series, and this is the book. But I made bookmarks out of the Bluebell, and then a whole bunch of, like, I had to buy a bunch of yarn to make the tassel and stuff. It's this whole story. If you know what the 10th Kingdom is, I'm going to be talking about it in my my website network. It's justeg.com. It's going to be coming out in the future. But anyway, so that's the whole 10th Kingdom thing. But I bought, in case I didn't have enough Bluebell left, I bought some of this because the color is, you know, close to the Bluebell. This is, you know, Crafter's Secret Big Idea, but it's called Soft Blue. And luckily I didn't have to use this. I actually got to use the Bluebell. The reason I thought it was perfect that I used the Bluebell is because there's a troll character in the 10th Kingdom named Bluebell. So it's kind of perfect. That's what I wanted, even though this is a lot softer. But when I made one bookmark with this, in case I couldn't find any more Bluebell, because I was getting low. Or I didn't know if I could make 50 bookmarks out of that one big skein. So I bought this just in case. But when I worked with this, it was like crocheting with like the softest, most buttery yarn. It's soft without being like really splitty. Like there's yarn that's really soft that it's splitty and hairy. And so this is like the most tightly wound yet soft acrylic I have ever come across. It's a shame that the only colorway of this that is variegated is like a Christmas colorway. They have a bunch of different colors in their cotton yarn, but I don't like using cotton yarn. But they only have like these really big skeins, and they're only like the solids. But it is such a nice yarn. I just can't believe it. They need to make this yarn with variegated colors. But anyway. So I bought this, and because I love this yarn so much, I wanted to use see if they have like a teal in this kind of yarn, and so it's called Fabulous. But so I use these two colors. I'm still working on. I don't know if I won't need all of this. I don't even know if I'm going to need all of this because I'm like nearing the end of this throw blanket. But I'll show this off. And what sucks is I know that not even like a nicer camera, or like I don't have a smartphone or whatever. It just seems like every phone camera, every kind of camera that I'm like, even like my digital camera, I have like a really nice, it's not a DSLR or nothing, but I have like a really nice digital camera. Like even the pictures aren't, capturing the effect that this blanket has in person. It almost looks like, it doesn't look like it's glowing, but like it almost has this effect where it almost seems like it's glowing. It's just, I don't know, it's just really cool, like the way I mix these colors together. Hang on. I have it in a bowl. I use I don't like use those yarn bowls or whatever with like the little curl in it. I just I forget who I learned this from on YouTube. That's how I learned how to crochet, was YouTube. But I heard something on the porch. I think it's my my yarn. But anyway, I'm dropping it. So I use the bowl, and I have the little clip thing on the edge of it. Where you put the yarn through that instead of having to buy a yarn bowl. So that's the way I do it. But anyway, so this is the blanket so far, and it's huge. It's almost done basically. So this is the stitch. This is like doubled up, and see, like on camera it looks green. I hate that. Like on like in person, it's like the most vibrant tealish blue color. Like it's just so pretty, and all the glitteriness in it. Yeah, my yarn's here. Perfect timing when I'm like thinking, oh good, the video's almost done, and it's only going to be about 2 hours long. It's going to be even longer than that now, because I'm going to have to go out there and show get the box and show the yarn. But see, it's like it has like the glitteriness in it, like I like, and but the teal and the blue together, it almost creates this like shadowy effect where if you're looking at it, the blue almost gives it this kind of like, it almost looks teal, but then with the blue in it, it kind of looks like it's glowing in a way. It's so, I wish I could capture this on camera, the way it looks in person. It's insane. I love this. It's just so pretty. And see, this is how the texture of the stitches that I made up. I mean, I'm really proud of this one. It's like one of the prettiest blankets I think I've ever made, and I can't even capture it on camera right. But anyway, let me go get that other box. Yeah, this is an actual unboxing that I haven't opened yet. I mean, I've seen this yarn before, but it's weird that this came today because I just bought it yesterday, and it wasn't even supposed to come today. Anyway. So I bought these skeins, the really big skeins of polo. Now, let me open up one, make sure it's alright. Yeah, soft. It's just like really nice. I love this color. It's let's see, like this bluish teal, like the bluish teal that in my blanket. It's like almost that exact same kind of mix there. It's like a teal and a blue together. It's just, I love that, and I wish I could just capture that on camera. Maybe if I had thousands of dollars to buy some really nice camera, but I don't. But anyway, so I bought 4 packs of those yesterday, and then let's see what else. Oh yeah, I did buy this. I will show this as well. I guess it does kind of have to do with crochet. This video is long anyways, doesn't matter. I bought these keychains that have little crochet hooks on them, and I think you can actually use them as crochet hooks. I just bought them as like some really cool thing to put on my keychain, but I think there's like 6 in here, but they're little crochet hooks hanging off the keychain. And I'm going to give one to my mom. I'm going to give one to my niece because she's getting into crochet. She knows how to chain, but because she wanted me to teach her how to crochet. But I think she got a little frustrated with trying to. I made a video and put it on her. She's like one of those phone kids or whatever. I put it on her phone and to teach her how to crochet, and she just got a little frustrated, but she'll eventually get it. She's only 10, so but the fact that she knows how to hold the hook and and she's left-handed too. That's why I had to like make a video and flip it because I'm right-handed. And so she learned how to like hold her yarn and you know the tension and how to make the chain and everything. She just like going in and making little single crochet stitches and all that. She just hasn't grasped that yet. But anyway, so I'll give her one of these too. But it's just like a keychain with like these little teeny tiny crochet hooks on them. I thought this was so cool. It's only like $5 or something for these. And like they're actual hooks you can use. There's a 5mm, a 4mm, and a 3mm. They're just decorative, really, but you can use them as a crochet hook. I usually use a 5.5. I don't have really any fancy crochet hooks. I just have like the standard aluminum ones, kind of like this. I don't. I bought my niece like a nice one that's really pretty. It was only like $5. I wouldn't buy her one of the like really expensive ones, but she has a really pretty crochet hook. But I just use like these, you know, standard ones. I would never buy like when I went into Joann, they had a set that was like $70 or $80 or something, and that was like, you know, yeah, there was a discount, but like even with the discount, I would never spend that much on a crochet hook. I'd probably spend that on yarn, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't spend that much on yarn, unless it was like multiple skeins. But you know what I'm saying. But there's these little things. There's another pack in here too. But so I did buy those too. But anyway, so I think that's about it for this video. Maybe I don't know what else I was going to talk about. I was going to show off the different yarns that I used for the tassel on that 10th Kingdom bookmark, but I'm not going to do that because it's a whole separate video, and what the tassel means in regards to the 10th Kingdom and all that kind of stuff. But I think that's basically it. So if you actually watch this video, then thank you. You have no idea how appreciative I am, because I did, like I said, I filmed videos in the past. There's a whole video and post idea of like trying to, like, you know, diagnose the reason why my videos didn't do very well. I know that partly it was my fault, but a part of it was just like my videos weren't being pushed out there, and maybe it's because some of my first videos weren't clicked on or whatever. But it felt like I couldn't get back into it and actually break through the algorithm and like get my videos seen by anybody. And it just got frustrating to like work on all these videos and stuff. Like I said, I did like 30 hours of videos, and they were getting a handful of views, if even that. At the point near the end, they just weren't getting any views. And then I'd go into the analytics, and it would be like, you know, less than 100 impressions. So it was frustrating. So at this point, I'm making this video, and I'm gonna put it on YouTube. Hopefully, it'll get seen by somebody. And just like I said, like, even if you don't like this, like the video. Even if you don't want to subscribe, please subscribe. Just you know, comment. I don't care what you comment. Just comment, you know, oh, you're ugly and stupid, and I don't like your video. But here's your comment. Like, I don't care. Just like put some kind of, like, do something with the video. Even if it's just like a like, just to, you know, to feel sorry for me. I don't know. Just do something. Just to like make some kind of like make the algorithm start to push my videos out. But if not, what I'm already assuming that the video is not going to do very well. So what I'm going to do is just post all my stuff on my website network, and it'll be coming out in the future or whatever. And so, because at least there, if the videos don't get views, I at least know what the problem is, and it's me not putting myself out there, not promoting myself more. But when it doesn't get any impressions or any clicks on YouTube, you're kind of like left in the dust and wondering like, well, what was the problem? What was it? The thumbnail? You know, the thumbnail looks nice. Is it the title? No, the title. And I put the tags and stuff. Maybe I didn't. Maybe the subject isn't very good. Maybe. And you're thinking like, then the algorithm, it must be the algorithm. Why aren't they pushing it out? And why are they pushing out all these videos that are going viral? Why aren't they pushing out mine for you know, even just a couple hundred people? Or like, you know, it drives you nuts being on YouTube and like not being successful at it. And so at least if I have them on my website network and then they don't do well, or they only get a couple views, at least I'll know exactly what the problem is and how to fix it. I know that like the problem is me and not promoting myself, and I can, you know, try to, you know, fix that, and you figure out how to fix it. At least I'll have a way to, like, something I can actually do. If the algorithm doesn't get my stuff out there, then, you know, I can't really do anything about it. I don't know how to do it. But anyway, blah blah blah. So I will be doing videos in the future. Like I said, next month is going to be around the 25th, I think, April. As I'm saying this is like March 25th, I think. So I don't know when this video is going to be posted, but next month, April 25th. Oh, a month from now. I guess today I've been crocheting for 11 months. So that's kind of cool. I didn't even plan that. But next month, around April 25th, is going to be the 1-year anniversary. And I want to do this big video where I show every single thing that I've crocheted for the most part. Some of the stuff I don't have anymore. I've given to people, and I'll have to find the videos of where I filmed it when I finished it. But I want to film like a big video, big milestone video to show like the stuff that I've crocheted in the past year and everything, and talk about my whole journey. And then I'm not just going to do videos about crochet. I have all kinds of other interests. The intro that I didn't even say at the beginning because I didn't want people to click away and think, oh God, is hi, I'm EG, or just EG. I'm a writer artist with a wide spectrum of projects, interests, and ideas, and I make videos for myself mainly, but also to hopefully inspire you to find ways to be creative in your life. And that was my introduction, and every single one of my videos that I had before. And because I have all kinds of creative interests and stuff, I'm a writer and an artist, and I do all kinds of creative things and apply creativity to every aspect of my life. And my website network is going to reflect that. And there's going to be like designs that I have on products, like through Zazzle or whatever. And I'm going to have I was going to go through Etsy, but like I'm sort of hesitant to go through Etsy, and I'd rather just do it through Shopify. So I'm gonna set up a Shopify and have it where you can buy my the stuff that I've crocheted or like whatever directly from my website. I have all kinds of bookmarks and stuff, and I make the tassels myself with little beads and stuff, and I'm gonna make like scarves and cowls, and I'm gonna make a couple throw blankets, and I do have a pattern that I want to perfect and get out there, and I do want to do a tutorial about the EG stitch, and so you can see how that works, and because I'm really proud of that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff with the crochet, but there's a whole bunch of other things I'm going to have on my website network too. And things that, just like all kinds of blogs and blog posts, and I'm into physical media, and I have I'm a big collector. I have like, I Love Lucy collectibles and Harry Potter collectibles, and they're going to be like a whole aspect of my network about like the collectibles that I have, and the collector mentality that I have, and how I I'm like a creative person. I'm like the weird creative person in the family, and like every single thing I do is something creative, and to the point of it being a little ridiculous. And so that's just me as a person, and so that's what you're going to get if you watch any of my videos. That's what you're going to get if you go to my website network whenever it's online, and you read through some of my blog posts, or you see some of the stuff that I've done creatively, even if it's just like a showcase of it, or like something that I actually have to sell. So that's what I'm all about and everything. And but anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video of all this yarn and my ridiculous yarn life. I never thought I'd be like crocheting and stuff and obsessed with yarn and having hundreds of skeins in my house and stuff and taking up a laundry room or whatever, but that's become my life now, or one aspect of it anyway. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed making your whole blanket, and you're probably onto your next thing, because it took so long for me to get through this video. Anyway, I really appreciate you if you watch this video, and thank you for watching, and like and subscribe and comment or whatever, and I'll see you in the next one.